when you're in the learning, it was great. The actors loved seeing me and everything, but I had to learn, to be a stage manager. It isn't just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's a lot more than that. It's a tremendous amount more than that, especially on a soap.
So what exactly does the position of stage manager entail?
Well, obviously, you're responsible for the stage. You run the floor, okay? And you're responsible to keep everybody, and everything cohesive. You have to make sure that things are ready when they're supposed to be. You can't be yelling for props and things when everybody has to everybody has to be ready. When all departments have to be ready to go. Now, again, on a soap, running the floor is doing that in an efficient manner and adhering to a daily schedule and trying to ensure that they meet that schedule, because the old expression, time is money. It was per minute and all encompassed. When I first started, I think at the time per minute, it was like $80,000 a minute. That's everybody, the actors, the directors, the producers, the writers, the set guys, the stagehands, the props, it's like $80,000 a minute. So when you had to increase that time by 15 minutes, because at that time they could only extend by 15 minutes, it's a sizable amount of money, really a lot of money. Yeah. But you have to make sure that everything runs efficiently. But more important than that, what's more key as a stage manager is you're heavily relied upon by the actors. You are the direct representative of the director. When the director is not on the studio floor, you are the director on the studio floor. And you have to relay information from the director to the actors because there's a reason why, for the most part, control rooms and studio floors are separated by concrete walls. Trust me, because the directors are yelling and screaming different things. I don't know if I don't know if Bruce told you, but a lot of times the directors will get performance notes from the producers, and they'll say to the producers, "Well, listen, on page 3, you need to tell Vicky or whatever that." She needs to be a little bit more vulnerable here. Or on page 15, tell, Ben, he has to act like he's been just punched in the gut. Well, so you need to be a communicator, but you need to communicate effectively with everybody, not only the props, electric, you need to communicate with actors, okay, which is indeed a very, very hard thing, because actors are temperamental.
No, really?
Yes, of course. They're 40% temper, but they're 60% mental. So
that's about right.
You have to tread lightly in what you do. But anyway, you stage manager, you are a direct representative of the director, in order to ensure that what he or she wants done is done in the way that he or she wants it done. Now, in addition to that, directors can only speak with actors that are what they call under 5s or above. Anything less, which is an extra, they can't talk to. If they say, move here, that makes you an under 5. You can't do that. You got to go through the stage manager to do it. So the stage manager is also responsible for the choreography of the background players.
And what's an under 5 for those who don't know?
An under 5 is a person who has specific business on a show where it's under 5 lines or less. But you could be an under 5 without having any lines if you've got some specific business that you have to do that leads to something. In other words, if you brought a letter, if you had any interaction with a principal player, that made you an under 5. Somebody was serving a summons, and they had to give it to another guy. They didn't say, "I'm serving you." They just knocked on the door, gave it to somebody. They gave it to somebody. That made them an under 5. So extras would kill to be an under 5, because if you became an under 5, that immediately made you eligible for what they called SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, where you could go do movies. At the time, there was AFTRA, which was the American Federation of Television and Radio, and SAG. And a lot of the extras on soaps, well, they wanted to go do Law and Order. You know, they wanted to do that stuff. So they would do anything to be an under 5.
And one of those was my acting teacher, Laurie Ann Davis.
Yes, I know Laurie very well.
Yeah.
I go back with Laurie very well, and I hope she's told you some good things about me.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, Laurie was one of our very, very key people. She worked we had a newspaper. It was called The Banner, you know, and Laurie was one of the key people that I could rely on, you know, in this set, to basically act. Okay. You know, the sum is, what is that saying? The sum is no greater than the whole of its parts. Things have to look real. And one time, you know, somebody said to me, we were eating and they said, can extras eat? And I said, when did extras not become people? I mean, what's going on here? I would treat everybody, you know, with the utmost respect, and I learned their names and everything. Anyway, she was somebody that I was, that didn't need any motivation. And I had always, I had 3 key things. The 3 key things were, like, I'm looking at you right now. If you're the camera, well, I can see you. And if there's 4 cameras coming from different angles, as somebody who's on the stage looking downstage, well, they can see where the cameras are. So, key number 1, look for the camera. Key number 2, motivate yourself into, it was 4 keys. Motivate yourself or yourself and a partner. Key number 3, walk into the angles where those cameras are shooting. And key number 4, when you get there, do something. You know what I mean? I can tell you that there's 1,000,001 shows that I watch on TV now, and I say to myself, those extras look like shit. Excuse my language. Because you need to do something. You need to do something. She was somebody that I could say, listen, if they wanted me to stand around and say, you do this, you physically couldn't do that and run the stage at the same time, because you need to concentrate on your main actors. You got to throw cues at different times. So you would tell people, okay, at this particular point, I want you to cross from stage left to stage right, or I want you to go this way or that way. So you're responsible for all of the choreography, and it has to look real, but real enough where it cannot take the focus away from what the principal acting is.
Yeah.
Or else the producers or the directors are going to say, I don't want to watch her. I want to watch the 2 main characters here. You know what I mean? So
trying to chew the scenery. I know.
Yeah, it's you know, but it now on a movie it's even more difficult, because the beauty of videotape is cut. We'll do it again. But on a movie, when you're reversing cameras and things like that, there's the continuity of what line did this person walk, you know, from left to right. You know, that's a big thing. Now that's a second AD on a movie. It drives you crazy enough just to be a stage manager on a soap.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You know, doing special things, you know, train wrecks and fires and plane, you know, jailbreaks, you know, things like that, where sometimes in order to be realistic, you're going to have to cross in the foreground of people. You know, if you watch Law and Order, you know, it's not only when, you know, like Mariska, people don't always cross in front. Sometimes a guy crosses the street in front of her. Well, that's real. You have to look real, and if you make it look good, that makes the director look good. That's where the team concept comes in, of the directing team. You know, when we did these things, you know, they knew that they could rely on me, and there was only in the United States at that time probably like 14 people who did what I did, because there was, let's say there was 2 on a show, and you know, and 7 shows or whatever. And I got to tell you that I mean, I don't do it because I'm telling you, I used to, if they went into a football huddle, I thought they were talking about me, you know, in the beginning. But eventually, I gained the self-confidence that I needed. I don't know how. I don't know when it came. It was like a light switch. Just one day, I went from being this, meek kind of guy, to like, okay, man, now this is my game. And I got to tell you that for a good period of time, if you asked a lot of people, they would tell you that I was the best. You know what I mean? But that's,
Did you know you wanted to give your best at the job?
Oh, absolutely. Always.
Yeah.
Always. I never wanted to withhold anything. And then it wasn't until, and I'm trying to look around these walls that I have these, like awards. I can't show you in front of me, but it was somewhere around. I became a stage manager in 1992. In 1993, I won the first Directors Guild Award. Me and this, God rest his soul, this guy Ray, because we were doing, and stories were, we were bringing out things that were unheard of on soap. And they didn't say this, like they said a little of it, like in that thing they did on Monday. That was, One Life to Live was always like a stepchild to all my children in General Hospital. We always felt that way. But we did some fine cutting edge things, and there was a rape storyline. It was a frat house rape. And the actors won Emmys and things for this. But it was the first time that we had won a Directors Guild Award. And we had to create wildness at a frat party. I mean, which isn't really hard to do, but when you're passing people over on people's shoulders and they've got cups in their hands, you're simulating they're all drinking even though they're not. You have to create some wildness because this was going to be, a frat house rape. But anyway, what started making me feel good about that? It was the first time I had ever been exposed to being nominated as a part of the directing team to win this Directors Guild Award. Now, if the director wins the award, he or she wins a big plate, like a Directors Guild plate, and you as a stage manager win a smaller plate because you're an integral part of that team. It's not only it's not only the directors making it live, but you're making, like I said, other things live. Choreography, So that's when around 93 it took me about a year. That's when I decided I was like, wow, maybe we could do something here. We didn't know about Emmys or anything then, because back in those days, the directing team the stage managers were not part of the directing team as far as the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences were concerned. But after a number of people got involved, they said, well, wait a minute, they have to be part of that team. So when the directors go up on the stage to win Emmys, well, it's the directors, the ADs, the stage managers, and the production assistants that are part of that team.
Yeah,
so
you don't think of that.
Yeah, it really, really is. But that took a little doing. And God rest his soul, my partner, this guy Ray Holston, was sort of instrumental in that with a number of other people, and they went and petitioned the Academy, and the Academy was like, you know what, you're right. So winning all of these things, I mean, I'm looking up 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. I have 20 nominations from the Directors Guild of America, 13 of which I won as, in other words, best. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Emmy certificates, 3 of which I won.
Wow. And were any of them with Bruce Cooperman?
Yes. We won in 2010 and 2011. He won 2.
Yep.
And those 2 I won with him.
And what was it like working with Bruce?
Bruce was great because Bruce was, he got along very, very well with the actors. He was a good communicator. He communicated well. And what they liked people who worked quick. Because, as I said, time is money.
Yeah.
He was fine, man. He was great. He had a good rapport with everybody and did his work on time. Now, there may have been times where they wanted some things to be more complicated